Hello and welcome to Startup Hack. Today we are going to talk about decoupling through vertical slicing in .NET Core. So let's jump right in. Make sure to check out the link down below because we always provide the code samples that you can pull down and follow along so you can see in our project. Do you want to earn $100,000 a year? Do you want to become a software developer within just 3 months? With our amazing course and awesome tutors, you never have to worry about getting stuck. We help students to learn skills that companies want to hire. We are Startup Hack. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. So let's get started. Alright, we will now implement this using .NET Core 7 in C# for sure. We will avoid the use of API controllers and rely on the lightweight minimal API. To ensure decoupling, I will use media.tr library. The media.tr library is designed to support two primary softwares architecture patterns, CQRS and the mediator pattern. Although they are similar, we should spend a moment understanding the principles behind each pattern. CQRS stands for Command Query Responsibility Segregation. As the acronym implies, the idea is to separate the responsibility for command storing and queries reading into different models. Mediator pattern. The mediator pattern simply defines an object that encapsulates how objects interact with each other. Instead of two or more objects forming a direct dependency on each other, they instead interact with a mediator that is responsible for sending those interactions to other party. Alright, setting up your environment with media.tr. So let's start by implementing media.tr. For this, you need to install the package media.tr from the NuGet package manager. To get media.tr up and running, we only need to add one line in program.cs which registers all the service of the assembly. So here's that one line. Now, using this code, you will see your whole program.cs file should now look like this. After that, we will be implementing the query use case. So for this, we will put them in application company queries GetCompanyById folder. First, let's design the query request. For that, create a file name called GetCompanyById query.cs. So here's a file name and add this code. Here we create a record called GetCompanyById query that implements iRequest. This simply means that the request will return a GetCompanyById response data transfer object DTO, which we still need to define. The next thing we do is to define the DTO called GetCompanyById response. So here are this as follows. After that, we have to implement the endpoint handler in the API. So the segment of this code holds the expertise to find a company in our data. In this example, we are working with a mock data store that mimics the DB context often seen in entity framework usage. Normally, you would simply inject your entity framework DB context into real thing. This handler only asks for a single dependency to do this job. Unlike some services classes that might juggle lots of dependencies, remember the handler is focused on a single task, retrieving a company by its ID, which only keeps things simple but also aids the testing process due to its singular focus and responsibility. There's one thing is still missing before we can run the code. It's the endpoint handler. For that, we need to implement the handler code as here. So a placed file in company endpoints group in the folder API endpoints. So here's the example. The company endpoints group static class provides a focused collection of endpoint route configurations specifically for company related API requests. The company endpoints methods map two HTTP GET endpoints, one to retrieve a company by giving GUID ID and another to ostensibly retrieve all companies, so it returns a static string in this example. The handle GetCompanyById method is important for this video. It asynchronously handle requests to the company's ID GUID route, uses media TR to send a GetCompanyById query with the extracted company ID, retrieves the company data, and then respond to the API request by serializing the company data as JSON. These patterns provide a clean separation of concerns, keeping endpoints, routing, data retrieval, and response formatting separate and modular. So here's the example. So the endpoint group must be registered in the program.cs like this. As we can now see, we have created a clean and clear, easily extensible structure, and we have neatly isolated concerns and ensured single responsibility. There is no need for controller or fat service classes. Using minimal APIs simplifies HTTP request handling, allowing you to focus more on the action and less on the ceremony. This is especially beneficial when using a vertical slice architecture where you want to minimize dependencies and tight coupling between components. So now if we want to start the application, we can call the endpoint whole thing. So when I run this application, I have created some fake data on that, and when I try to run this API, so it will fetch me the company details by ID. So thank you for watching this video. With this implementation, we have created the best conditions for developing extensible software that does not tend to mix responsibility and concerns at some point, or create classes that contains an unmanageable number of dependencies. So don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for latest update. To joining our course, you can simply go to our website called startuphack.com. Thank you.